thanks for coming. This is a very intimate group, and I just want to warn you up front, it's not going to be one of these things where I'm standing up here talking, and you all are not. And I think we all get a lot out of it if we all make this an extended conversation based on different topics, rather than sitting back and listening to me pontificate and talk about things I think I know, but I may not really know. Everybody here is really comfortable in the technology space, right? So first of all, let me find out who's here. I mean, who here is the director or CIO? Who here is a manager? Who here is a technician? So you all are CIOs and managers. You probably have been through most of this. Through one point or another throughout your careers. Maybe through some talking and the opportunity to share some thoughts and perceptions. You can all get a little more comfortable with the fact that we're not alone, and maybe there's something bigger out there for all of us. So, efficient as a technician, efficient as a manager, without having some experience. So, has changed. And I'm going to give you, over the past 10 years, we've seen IT go from kind of like the objects of scorn. Think about it. Revenge of the nerds. Right? These were geeks, and IT guys were smart and kind of wearing pocket patches and little tape on their glasses, and they were bullied, and they were kind of these smart guys who weren't really respected or worthy of respect or really necessary. They were irrelevant. But then something happened to change that, to make IT and technology something that is enviable to be involved. Right? People want to do this kind of work. They go to school for it. They come to conferences like this. They think it's fascinating. But more than that, something's happened in our culture. The heroes are guys like Steve Jobs. Everybody wants to know what Steve Jobs did, how he thought about it, how did they come to these conclusions, how did they develop these products that change the way we are. He was one of the nerds. Of course, he got his revenge, but he lived a good life. Bill Gates, richest man in the world. Did anybody think anything, that he could be anything other than a people nerd? So it changed. Pop culture changed. Our society changed to the point where the projection was there would be a PC in everybody's house. Right? One PC. Now, the projection is everybody has 3 different computing devices. You need your smartphone, you need your tablet, and you need your home base, your laptop, your desktop. So things have changed quite a bit. So I just wanted to kind of draw that in just at the outset, because you're all here because you're technologists, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about the things that go along with that are not presumed. Being as everybody's comfortable in the technology space, you see the things that we're not going to be talking about today. We're not going to be talking about servers or all the things that you all are comfortable with. We're going to be talking about how to run an IT department, some of the landmarks that are here, things that are difficult for you all if you want to share them. Even if you don't want to share it, I'm going to still ask you. So this is where we kind of put in. When you all were asked to be managers or CIOs, the person who offered you a job, either your county administrator or your manager or your city manager or what have you, presumed that you had critical thinking skills. Does everybody know what critical thinking skills are? No. Do you? Somebody shout it out.
Well, I would think it's the process of going more through an analytical approach and more of taking all consideration into in your thought process, making those decisions.
It's just to carry what you said further. It's egoless. You don't have any ego, and you ask important questions. You try to drill down into what it is you're trying to come to some kind of conclusion towards. So it was presumed that you had decision-making skills that were based on the ability to assess the pros and cons of an issue, to prioritize it, and also to rule out whatever options were not problem solving is one of the most difficult things to do, because you start with your present state and you have to get to a desired state. And you have to use your critical thinking skills and decision-making skills to develop your problem solving. Oh, pardon me? Sometimes. Decision-making also brings into intuition. And intuition is based on being able to identify a situation based on previous occurrences. Does that make sense? Visioning is being able to foresee something off in the future, but thinking about the current framework, but being open to changes. Talking about, when you talk about creativity, what do you think? What's your name?
Trevor.
Pardon me?
Trevor.
Okay, Trevor.
Yeah, I think creativity is, I think like people who create it in different aspects. But thinking outside the box, pushing cups, smart, where's it going today? And I think that creativity is someone who, I think it makes someone create, they're a little different in their approach to things because they use it, or they're willing to.
Okay. Innovation is solving a problem through means not previously done. Whether it's a product, a service, a technology, an idea, something that is different from the status quo. So you know what you know, but do you know what you don't know? I can tell you a lot of things I don't know. I don't know anything about, really about ground level technology. Have any of you ever been through this? You go to a meeting and somebody can't bring up PowerPoint. And they say, oh, it's a good thing Paul's here. Hey, can you get up here and fix this for me? Right? And most of the time, I can't do it. I can call somebody and they can do it, but I don't know. Right? I don't know how to merge documents. So I know a lot about what I don't do. But I think where we all want to get to is to be unconsciously confident. Okay, think about it. Unconsciously confident. That means that you don't know what you know. Because it becomes so ingrained in who you are, and so intuitive, that you're able to solve problems, to make decisions, and to do critical thinking around issues without knowing that you know. That's pretty good. It makes it like a bunch of stuff. It's true. Okay. Just to stick with IT for a little bit. Okay. When looking for an IT solution, there are four must-haves. Okay? Only four at the highest level. We're talking very high level. It must be fiscally prudent. You have to be able to pay for it. Or to see how you're going to be able to pay for it over the life, hopefully the life of the product. So in other words, by the time it's paid off, it's dead. Right? You're not paying for something that's gone. Acceptable return on investment. And that is a judgment based on your user and based on the product and services you provide. Technically sounds sustainable. You understand what that means? It's current technology. You can find people to keep it up. The hardware is still relevant. Software is relevant. You can do that. And it solves a problem. If it doesn't solve the problem, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's not relevant. Added bonus features, ladies and gentlemen. If it's innovative, great. Okay, you're doing something new and exciting, and your IT staff will be all jazzed up about it, and you'll feel like you're breaking some ground. That's cool. Okay. If it's a long-term solution, that's also a bonus. I personally have done projects that were designed to last 2 years because it solved an immediate problem. It was fiscally prudent. It gave me the ROI I needed, and it solved an immediate problem. But it was not seen as a long-term solution. It was in fact not. If it's transforming the way the solution transforms the way you do business to get to a better place, that's a bonus. An IT solution does not have to be transformative. It's great if it does. And common sense. Common sense should be applied to everything. My personal opinion is there should be a Department of Common Sense where I work, and I should be head of it. Okay? Because I'm convinced that we have a big gap there. What do y'all think about that? I mean, is this kind of what you were expecting when you came in here, or you just had no place else to go? I mean, we can be friends here. Okay? Dave will tell you I worked with him 5 years ago, and I'll just shoot straight.
So the common sense
Yes.
Is that some, I would have almost put that into the must-haves.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you should apply common sense to everything that you do, right? Ideally, but sometimes, candidly, things don't make any sense, and you have to do them, right? Who here works with elected officials? Okay, I'm probably gonna get shot for this, but only if you tell.
Oh, I see now why it's in the bonus
Right.
features.
I mean, sometimes you're asked to do things that are just stupefying, right? You're doing things because of the way they appear to be, or about what it might say to somebody who's running for office at a particular time. And it doesn't make any sense, and it's not proven, and it doesn't give you the ROI, but you're asked to do it anyway.
Unrealistic expectation.
What was that?
Unrealistic
Yeah.
expectation.
Yeah. You have to figure out what hill it is you want to die on, right? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Which battles are worth fighting? So that's where the Department of Common Sense needs to be created, and I need to be the chief of that department. Okay. I heard somebody tell me it was Ines, right? You and Paul were talking about understanding technology concepts without understanding the technology. I said, I can't fix PowerPoint. My man Joe is here setting up this thing to make sure sound came out, even though I got yelled at for blasting my music like a teenager, which pissed me off. But understand, you need to be able to understand technology concepts, accepting the fact that you can't really help somebody support a sonic infrastructure. You can determine what level of Windows or SQL Server have people who understand it. You help them through the decision-making process, using your critical thinking skills, your decision-making skills, your problem-solving skills, your innovation, your creativity, and that's your tool set. That's where you get started. And that's where you can get into trouble, because the assumption is that you're an IT guy, right? You understand technology concepts. You can listen to your network engineers talk about ring design, right? Or talk about VMware, and you kind of hang on, trying to understand these things, but in truth, you need to let go and focus on the ability to solve problems and make good decisions. Never forget, IT is in the customer service business, not the technology business. Customer service business is booming. Okay? People want good service. It's hard to do, but the expectation, as you saw from my little intro, which was meant to really entertain you all, but also get you thinking about these things, is that you don't do magic, right? And it's your own fault because you do it too quick and you care too much, right? And the expectations are off the charts. You know, somebody calls in, oh, I have a problem, I'm gonna fix this right away. And it's all magic. Part of the problem is also, Trevor, you can go to Best Buy right now, $400, buy PC, bring it home, crank it onto the box, plug it in, and be on the internet in an hour, right?
They want to know why you're IT.
Why can't you do that at work? Why is this so hard? But everybody here is in government, right? We're all in government. How many different lines of business are we in local government? 20? That's 22 departments. And out of those 22 departments, how many different functions? Public works, right? Pick up the trash, they pave your streets, cart away, they cart away bulk, they, traffic lights, all these kinds of things. We're in dozens of lines of business, right? And we're business savvy, business analytical. We're not experts in everybody's business. But the expectations are, because you can get your PC hooked up in an hour, now why can't you do this? And it's really hard, in spite of repeatedly communicating that message, it's really hard to get people to accept it because they don't understand. Going back to the whole thing about Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. Another thing that's changed is our users, our customers, are a heck of a lot smarter and more technology comfortable than they were when, at the dawn of the data processing age. How Every time my city manager used to tell me, you know, her brother was a security genius, and helped him using Norton instead of semantics or whatnot. And it's, everybody knows a guy who knows a guy who knows another guy who knows more than me. And that's what you all face. It's important, as you'll see as we go forward, the things that you have to do to build your credibility, to ensure that you're feeling confident in what you do. Anybody have any comments at this point? I'm yelling that this is terrible or boring. Good.
I just always love the one where you're doing this phase, and somebody goes that 1,001 terabyte drive, and then they come back and they want to estimate for you to add a terabyte of NetApp storage, and then they write a lot of school. That's not a 1 terabyte drive.
Why? Why does it cost so much? Why take you guys so long?
Yeah.
What I'm finding too is that the younger generation is coming in more technology literate, but we still have a lot of seasoned employees out here that still don't have a clue, and I think they're becoming less and less willing to ask questions. I had a situation with a department director a few weeks ago, we were talking about APs, and it never occurred to me that he really had completely no clue what I was talking about. He never asked the question. I didn't realize until an email thread went through that I sat back and I said, yeah, we have absolutely. They're afraid to ask. So it's, I think, another challenge that we have in communication.
Always.
You know, I had talked to business units, and I have a couple rules. I absolutely, absolutely. And I try to gauge and feel people out by the body language if they're giving up. You know, I try to answer these questions because I've made that mistake a few times. But
Well, I had said it actually, but still.
yeah, it's, I mean, most people know what an AP is, but I just, and I found that, you know, my CIO, she dinged me a couple of times. They have just very fundamental so I just stripped it out, the video out of the way, position, because it is annoying, and we're talking tech talk so much with our peers, that we get this comfort level, when we go to business units, we make some poor assumptions. Outside of here, that's
Right.
three letter,
Right, or
slogan protocol. Yeah, unfortunately.
The 2 points to make is one is that an extension of what you were talking about is not just the, I can go down to Best Buy and do it, but it's the expectation that we live in the now generation where everything is instant. I'm waiting for my reply to my email, I'm waiting for my tweet, I'm waiting for this, I can do it instantaneously. So why can't you guys go do it instantaneously?
That's right.
And the extension of your conversation is we do the same thing, but we don't talk in terms of technology, we talk in terms of, because we look at it from the service perspective, like we don't provide email, we provide communication, right? Telecommunications and communication is the service we're providing. Email just happens to be the tool today that we're using to do that. So when we describe things to our customers in a way like that they can understand it, then it makes that a lot easier.
Comments? Okay, this is your world. Okay. You're brought into the job expecting to be experts in technology and have decision-making skills, problem-solving skills, critical thinking skills, be innovative, creative, and visionary. Right? All those things. But what did you find when you got it? It required a whole lot more information and knowledge. You're supposed to be motivated. Right? You're supposed to motivate your staff. You're supposed to be an IT visionary. When people come up to you and say, hey, you know, that new Windows tablet that's coming out, should I get that or the iPad? I mean, they come to you about which cell phone to get. All these things that are assumed. You're supposed to be a hard-nosed negotiator, getting the best of every vendor. You're supposed to be a mentor to your staff, so there's succession planning that you can backfill and take personal interest in everybody. It's so much more, and because we're in dozens of lines of business, you have to be continually communicating and developing your communication skills. We can be great communicators, but it doesn't mean that we don't continue to enhance our communication skills as well as methods of communication. situation, okay? There's no cookie cutter. Part of your critical thinking skills is to know when a face-to-face meeting is required with either a contentious customer or an employee who's in need of counsel, or another department head, or what have you. You have to really have that sense and that knowledge and experience and intuition of when you have that conversation versus when you have something documented. You have the conversation, then document it. Maybe an email is just a quick burst, or a text message, just a quick burst of information. But you have to have, without a doubt, good written skills, particularly in the CIO position. You have to really have a defined writing style that lays out technical material, or not even, just thinking about solving the problem. That's what you're doing. If you're sending an email to somebody, you're not laying out how to configure servers or something like that. You have project plans, you have statements of work, you have a technical documentation that's for that. But you should always be thinking about, what does the situation call for? Does it call for me inviting somebody to my office? You go to theirs? Because there is a difference. When you go to somebody else's office and make a mistake, you're saying, I want to come and see you because I have something for us to talk about, and it's on your turf, right? One of the good things about that is you can leave when you're done. You get somebody coming to you, you gotta get up and say, well, I guess. But that's a good question. It is something that you develop over time. Pay careful attention to your written documentation skills.
One thing that's always been good for me, because I'm more people oriented, I always choose to meet in person instead of email or phone, because I can read how they're dealing with it, or if they don't look like they're understanding, or they get aggravated. I lose that. Sometimes I don't read it out, or if you give them.
Other?
I always find that it's good to talk, but it's for me, any conversation I follow up with an email to make sure that whatever our talking points were, that there's no misunderstanding. When I said next Friday, it means 26th, not the 19th kind of thing. Make sure that we both agree on that. But talking, I've got one city manager now, or the assistant city manager. I feel it's really just more of a, I prefer the quick hits, the texts, the emails, that rather than do it face-to-face. And meet with them once a week with the regular department heads, but I feel that her preferred mode of communication is electronic. So you try to cater to what they need, but you also have to realize that nonverbal communication is a terrible thing, because your mood, the receiver's mood sets the tone of the letter. You know, if they think it's funny based on the word, they might think it's a wonderful letter, they might be in a bad mood, and next thing, you know, you're yelling at them for some reason while you're just explaining something.
Go back to the conversation we had, and that by going to other people's offices, walking in the house, you not only have a better understanding of what their mood swings are, their facial expressions, but you're building relationships that you can't build on. You've got to keep those relationships with your customers. You've got to keep that open communication.
Other comments? No? Does this all, does everybody here feel that they're in this role at one time or another? Okay, here's one. Anybody recall the ratio that we had? Right, that win thing that came through? I don't know if it came through down here up in Roanoke, and 1 minute we're sitting around on a Friday night having an adult beverage, and the next thing you know, 85-mile-an-hour winds come through, and I'm down at work for the next 24 hours. Because 911 also reports on technology. The EOC is activated, all those kinds of things, and we're in a conversation about what's going to happen with this being this. I had no power myself for 7 days. find is, as a CIO, you're dragged into situations that are really outside of what you got this job for in the first place, which was because you supposedly understood how technology pieces fit together and was going to help the organization. So it was really it was a privilege to be a part of that. It was a lot of fun, and you know, the chaos and the unpredictable nature of it just really made it thrilling. You know, seeing how the police department, fire departments all pulled together and wanted the services that we provided, those kinds of things. So it was a rare opportunity. Be prepared. Being a CIO is going to take you out of what you think your comfort zone is. That's it. I love talking about the difference between leadership, management, and supervision. Who here has heard this? Okay, sir, what's the difference?
Leadership is having a vision and moving towards it. Management is just keeping things working. And
Okay.
supervision is getting people to do things.
Okay, concise and true. Young man?
Same thing.
Exactly. Oh, come on, you have something to add?
Well, leadership is knowing where you want to go. Management is making the leadership's vision happen, and supervisor are the people down in the trenches making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to.
Okay, good. Okay. Somebody else? It's all true. It's all true. Okay. Okay, we can just skip it. No. Okay. Leadership is being able to picture the future, as the gentleman in the blue shirt said, being able to communicate that vision. Now, if that was this guy, he'd be running in there in 2 seconds and be more form. Right, being
That's
able,
probably the activities you don't want to do.
you have to be able, you can have the vision, but you have to be able to communicate it. Right? You have to be able to tell people about it, to write about it, to send short tweets about it. This is exciting. Right? Here's where we're going. Right? It may be dangerous now. And get people excited about it. Tell them why this is something they want to be a part of. Okay? Leadership accepts the risk and the disappointment and the failures. Okay? I can tell you that you will learn far more from any failure you have than any success you ever had, no matter how great. It's only, truthfully, by experiencing the bad things that you learn. Right? And you saw Dave and I work together, and Dave saw me experience some rather remarkable failures that I can stand here and talk about. But looking back, that's where the skills became enhanced. Okay, so don't shy away from this because of that. Disappointment is something that I love talking about because disappointment is part of the human condition. I will tell you that in the brief time I've gotten to know you, I've disappointed you. Okay? I will disappoint you, and you will disappoint me. Your boss will disappoint you. Your parents, your children, your spouses, you will disappoint them, they will disappoint you. Okay? Because that's the way life is. Right? And it's a matter of how you accept and deal with disappointment. The biggest disappointment will come from within. You will disappoint yourself, but that's a challenge, and that will help you be better. Do not refrain from going at something that is a little bit daunting for fear of failure or disappointment. You have the right people in the right role at the right time. Okay? Everybody's heard this, everybody knows it, right? The man in the back would say, I know that's from good to great, right? You can have the right people on the wrong seat. It doesn't mean that you want to see somebody leave your organization if you happen to have them placed in the wrong position. You have to find a place where they can be successful, where they can be challenged, and they can help you meet your vision. That is the role and the responsibility of leadership. One of the things I love about working in government is the fact that we are not competitive, right? Well, you work for a credit union, right? I meet with banks and other credit unions. Right? We can all share with each other, right? We can learn from each other. Any one of you can call me up, I'll return your call, we'll talk whatever it is you want to talk about for as long as you want to talk about it until you've had enough. Okay? And I know I can do the same with you all. Okay? And that's leadership. That's sharing, understanding. And sometimes you have somebody in the wrong seat, maybe you're in the right seat, but at the wrong time. So you try to continually look at your organization and shape it. Kind of like it's an amoeba that changes shape. Because technology changes. Your staff can't stay the same. You're going to have new roles and new responsibilities. And that is the responsibility of leadership, just to flesh that with you all. Management. Going further with management supports the vision and collaborates with leadership. Go forward. They plan and they develop contingencies for the leadership's vision for the organization. And they also have performance measures to see if what we thought we were conjuring up was really any good, or if it was what we thought it would be to begin. Getting back to what the gentleman in the back said, you operate efficiently. Right? You determine how the best way to work is while reducing risk. Leadership introduces risk. Management tries to reduce risk. Management identifies as the only three resources we have, time, money, and people, to fulfill the objectives. Okay, so we're seeing the difference between leadership and management. Yeah? Clear? Manner? Supervision supports the vision, carries out the plan, ensures efficient operation. Again, what you all said. Very detailed responsibility to fulfill the vision. And my favorite is if you break the word supervision into two, supervision. Right? And what's that? It means that person sees the task that you're doing better than you do and can show you the best way to do it because they have super, right? Anything here we want to talk about? I'm killing everybody. Seriously. No?
Just one thing you learn after doing this for a while is that people who are in leadership roles sometimes don't get the folks on board because they don't understand what being a good leader really is. And a lot of times you see that they don't make you want to follow their vision. They don't sell it. They don't include people. They don't do the things you need to do to really be successful as a leader.
I follow it up with, I don't see a lot of leaders in my organization. And I think that's the problem. I mean, a lot of them just keep the lights on, appeasing whoever they appease.
It's reactive organization, not proactive.
Right.
And a lot of times you get shut down if you are trying to lead in a non-leader world. They don't like it.
Okay, what's that? Let's hang on to that for a second. Okay, getting back to what you were saying. Second slide was about critical thinking, and that being egoless. Okay, and there are different types of critical thinking. There's weak and strong. Weak critical thinking is self-centered and egocentric. Strong critical thinking is egoless. So what you're talking about is somebody who's put into leadership position because they understand IT, but they're ego-driven. This young lady, your name?
Christy.
Christy. What you're talking about is you have something to offer, right? And you feel like you're not being heard.
And for me, the struggle is the tower of indirect influence, learning how to not necessarily sell vision, but make the vision everybody's vision, and without making it look like it was my vision.
What has always helped me is it's not to be a good leader if people don't respect you as a person, about caring about them, about understanding the needs of the business. You know, if you can get everybody rowing the boat in the same direction because they know you genuinely care about
a situation where people don't want to hear your ideas. Right? That's what you're saying, right? You're not collaborating. You don't have buy-in. How do you try to move that forward?
Is this up or down? People don't want to hear it. Above you or below you?
It can be, I've seen it in both situations where you know, you've got resistance to change below you, and they see a venue around you. And so they, no matter how collaborative or how supportive you are, if they see a way around you and they don't want, and they're very resistant to change, they'll take it. And so, you know, you can get caught almost independently.
I would add two things that's helped us. One, from the upper end, we have a technical steering committee.
We do too.
Does that work for you?
It works in most situations. Yeah.
Okay. And down below, we go through strategic planning session every year, and I involve my staff in that. The very first thing we started with 4 or 5 years ago was just coming up with a mission statement, which I tasked them with. Believe it or not, it took like 2 months to come up with just a mission statement. Because first defining, making them understand what a mission statement was, but when they came up with that, and they knew that that was what they felt was the important thing, we all agreed on it, that was a huge change and shifting the kind of the buy-in into our vision and what we are here to perform. So we go through a session every year, get them all together, and it's their plan. And I told them, this is your plan. Y'all have to come up with the ideas, and we're gonna talk about it, but I'm not gonna sit here and say it for you, because then you're not gonna help me.
And they should know it better.
And that's a good point, because I came into a role, a management role, and there were some skill set issues, and there was some feelings of being left out, so they were never brought in. So I brought them in at the ground floor for very large capital projects, very busy. A lot of sharp consultants and accomplishment. So when it came time for the project to roll around, they felt a sense of ownership and bought into what I was doing, because golden short of it, in a roundabout way, sometimes direct, sometimes indirect. But the timeline, you talk about situation management, you mentioned it, right? Communication. They were doing things a lot that were very wrong. And we had a ERP project rolling downhill, horrible ERP project. A voice over IP project in Cisco. We had a multi-million-dollar, $230-something million convention center rolling downhill. So it wasn't a scenario where I told someone, I'm not going to say exactly what I said, but there was no honeymoon. We went straight to the altar and got married and started fighting. And so it was storming, performing, but to convince them and help them bring them on board, sometimes you have to get someone else to say your message. Yeah, and the vendor was my vehicle to say the message that I was saying to them, or a consultant would be the message, you know, and you kind of want to get on your licenses before you meet, so you guys are saying the same thing, or they're saying something, you're quiet, but sometimes you have to get someone else to speak for you. When there's an outside party, finding champions inside departments that are like-minded, and it takes time.
That's a big one.
It takes time. That first slide today at the lunch, patience, that was just, he could have stopped right there and just walked on the stage, because that was something I had to really learn, was patience, and I really appreciate that.
You remember the general session that they with the teacher?
Yes.
It's no different with your staff than it is with the kids. They are watching you every second of every day to see how you react to adversity. If you're talking about people, are you carrying out the leadership and vision? You know, it is amazing to me, because if you can continue to keep that role and keep it high, it's amazing what happens. It's almost contagious. Because it's easy to get discouraged when you don't have enough money, don't have enough staff, you can't get, the time rates aren't reasonable. You just have to make sure that you don't let that show.
I want to talk about values, and that's one of the biggies, but I think in your situation, you have more control over working with your staff than you do in influencing your manager. So going back to communication, having a consistent message, as Paul said, living living what you promise, and living up to your expectations of them. It doesn't mean that they have to work on Saturday, you do, but you're doing your part, you're doing everything to advocate for them. All right? And if they see that speaks volumes. As far as trying to convince your boss or your steering committee, it requires a different tack. You have to make your compelling case of why this is a good thing. Why did we go back early on the 4 bullets? Added bonuses, common sense, right? You don't always get it. Sometimes you may present a case that is lead pipe cinch, saves money, better productivity, easy transformation, low risk, you know, all those kinds of things, passes.
And a board member says no.
Right, you know, so there's no cookie cutter approach. Hopefully that makes sense and fills in a couple of. Everybody heard that chief innovation officers? Right? You all feel, the guys who are directors or top of the food chains, you feel like you have to be the chief innovation officer and chief information officer? Not true. Not all innovation comes from technology. Technology can support innovative process. If your processes stink, your technology is going to support something that stinks. Technology can be innovation. And maybe even the chief information officer is the best person to be the chief innovation officer, but maybe not.
I would agree with that, but the situation we have in our jurisdiction is that most of our department directors are not innovative. And they're reluctant to change. They want to keep doing the same thing. So we really try to work with them on showing them or showing them a different way to do something, or, you know, and we thought about it this way. So I think every locality is different, but that just happens to be the way it works for us.
I think that's not. What you and I are saying is exactly the same thing. You go to your department, you see a way to improve the way they're doing business, and the technology supports it. It's not coming in and saying, if you implement this technology, that everything is going to be fixed. They have to change their mindset and be open to doing things better. And we all know nobody's going to hire a chief innovation officer in any local government because that's another big paycheck. And I'd like that job, just sit right there. Right? I'm just going to be innovative. How am I going to be innovative today? Let me see. Right? But it naturally goes your way because it's CIO and the eye's already there and you don't have to get any new t-shirts. Right? But it is, when you sit down and you start thinking about innovation, it doesn't need to include at that point a technology response in terms of solving the problem. The problem is, well, real estate bills didn't come out well. Let's solve that problem, right? Then let's figure out how to be innovative to fix the problem, right? Because the first thing you got to do is make your treasurer happy, right? Then you can go back and see how you can do things differently so they're not unhappy again next year, right? But you have a problem that you need to solve. Sometimes there's short-term solutions, sometimes there aren't. Okay, here are some survival tips that I can tell you I've learned the hard way, okay? Keep the toothpaste in the tube, okay? I will tell you that I'm known for being a smart guy, right? And there are many a times that I have said things that I regret, right? I'll tell you a little story, okay? Just because I think my head will come. I was invited to the sheriff's Christmas dinner. I didn't know why. It was just this great thing. Okay, good, because I like the sheriff and all that good stuff. I didn't know that I was going to be receiving some kind of an honorary award. So walking in, my wife's with me, and they say, "Oh, Roy, yeah, you're sitting at the table with the city manager and that councilman and the boss." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm sitting with my friend over there." And all of a sudden, he don't sit over there. I had no idea. So I go, sit down, all of a sudden my boss is moving over to my table, the city manager's giving me the stink eye, all that kind of stuff. And next thing I know, there's this testimonial being spoken about me. I had no idea. Right? I should have just kept my mouth shut and gone and sat down. But the toothpaste was out of the tube, and that was that. Right? And it went on to foster a great relationship from that point going forward. One built on mutual respect. You can always say tomorrow what you're going to say today. If you're in a meeting with one of your peers or a staff member, and they say something that kind of pushes your button, take a deep breath, take the opportunity to think about it today. You can always say it tomorrow. Take it from me. If you can sleep on it, sleep on it.
Put it in a folder for later and look at it the next day.
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
Appreciate your nemesis. And I think you are going to learn more from your nemesis than you're going to learn from your friends. Those people that challenge you and don't understand why you want to do the things that you do, they're teaching you. They're teaching you how to deal with quote-unquote difficult people. Maybe you're the difficult person, but they're your nemesis. So they're there to teach you something. Don't avoid them. Appreciate the fact that you're going to come out with skills that you can use on your next nemesis. Sometimes the answer is don't do anything. I'll tell you, I have been on a jag on more than one occasion where every decision I was making was wrong. Okay? When I was saying wrong, it might have been great, I believed in it, but all of a sudden I was getting splashed. Right? And I was left holding the bag, and it was the wrong decision to lead the day. Okay? What I did was I said, that's it, I'm taking a week off. I'm not leaving the office, but I'm not making any strategic hiring or what I'm going to call diplomatic decisions until I have a chance to take a deep breath and recover from this shockwave of failure. Walk down the hill. You're not going to learn everything you need to know today. Take the time to be patient, learn your surroundings, learn your customers, learn more about your staff, communicate as much as you can, develop your skills, and accept that life is no straight line, and it's ups and downs, and that patience is going to be an opportunity for you to enhance your skills. By being patient. Get comfortable in the quicksand, okay? Your feet are going to go out. You got the duration. When was the last time we had one of those? I never even heard of it. Right? Your most trusted staff are going to disappoint you. Somebody who you had in mind for succession planning is going to quit. You have to go to sleep knowing that you care, but that it's okay. Okay? You are going to have to survive and count on those skills that I talked about in the first line to make it through. If you think about all the bad things that are going to happen, it's overwhelming. Build your base. One of the best things you can do is use parallel teams to advance your relationships outside of IT, the IT sphere. United Way teams, diversity teams, things that involve the enterprise that have nothing to do with your mission. It gives other people a chance to see you outside of you trying to sell something or promote your agenda. Use those as much as you can. Invest in social capital. Everybody knows what social capital is? We all have accounts here, right? Accounts. And they're kind of even right now. But if we work together, I would be thinking, well, Trevor's a pretty good guy, and he did this thing for me. So when he calls up for a favor, I'm going to go a little bit further. We all have those kinds of relationships. Invest in getting your balance in all your primary relationships in the black. Okay? Do people favors. Okay? Highly encouraged. And it doesn't have to be people in department heads or people in positions of power. Those types of things take root and make you more effective. So work on it, and keep in mind, when you've cashed out some social capital, and you've gone to go to somebody and say, you know, we just had a catastrophic event here, right? And so I need a little slack, I need some time, I gotta do this, I'm working on it. Keep in mind where your capital is with your coworkers, peers, and subordinates. Number one, survival tip. These are my values. Okay, that's a lot of values. But I try to employ them. If not every day, they're a part, become ingrained in me. Who I am. You really need to take the time. As a director, a manager, a supervisor, if you want to move in that position, what's important to you? Right? What are you going to project to your staff? What are you going to be able to back up? Very important. I was going to focus on it, but as you look up here, I really tried very hard in that area. I presume good intentions with my staff, but you have to be aware of who it is you deal with. If it's somebody who you know has been devious in the past or self-serving, then it's a devious. You can't assume good intentions, but these are values. It's not saying that you do it across the board and you set yourself up for failure or for disappointment, but this is who you are. You want to assume good intentions. Okay? The one I have quoted and set apart is to treat everybody fairly, but not the same. Okay? You have your go-to guys. I'm almost done. Your go-to guys, the guys you go out. Thank you. They would die on the hill for you. Those are the people who you're going to extend yourself for. It doesn't mean you're going to do it for everybody else. Think about your values and what you want to project. Last slide. Okay. This is encouragement for you. 355 days a year. I'm right in the middle. Okay? As far as being competent. 5 days a year, potted plant could do my job at least as well as me, because I can't do a darn thing right. Okay? And I feel like the biggest potted plant in the world. Right? 5 days a year, I am the enlightened one. There isn't another human being on the face of the earth who could approach me in my enlightenedness and my wisdom and my gift. Okay? The rest of the year, I'm trying to stay closer to the enlightened one. But if I'm dead set in the middle and I'm confident, I've achieved what it is I need to achieve. Any questions? We're done? Seriously, any questions or comments? Boisterous group, thanks for your